more. There's a kind of Jay-Z. I want to say. Banana.
Very nice start.
That's a sound that started.
You know, so if you are doing anything, you know what to do, right?
Please,
Right, guys. Right.
Why don't you take anything then do yourself? Then you ask you to know what to do.
You know you're gonna end this out, right?
Who?
What's who? Kofi, let's go.
Now you can the Papa Ben or I am CSM.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to apologize for the time we are starting. Jerry.
how would
Oh, yeah, apologize for the time we are starting.
Now what is that? What's no video? What you what they are saying me power. Now the just na buy coffee.
Kofi.
What do you for me now?
It's okay.
I was going to catch you to
Jerry, tell me I'm going to say starting. Jerry,
Yeah, but they don't know that.
started 3 days.
and Jeremiah is 6 times.
7 and 4.
Right. Charlie, all
With
that.
that.
You don't get anywhere right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wine. Yeah, started.
just starting the name of the final and the final of this one.
Amen.
Right, guys, it's another episode of the Bible Podcast. My name is Kofi Tagbo, and I'm here with the CSM team. CSM!
Bye.
I don't want to with you.
Yeah.
CSM!
Is that you're forcing your fellow? You're forcing us to
Oh,
shout.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, go back first one this time.
I don't know. So, on today's episode, we are talking about how to get the youth onto another level, Catholic youth onto the other level. How can we get there?
So you waited till we started the podcast to remove tissue when the cameras are rolling.
I didn't know I was going to laugh after in my tear.
I'm not seeing anything. It's there.
So how, guys? How do we move the Catholic youth to another level? Why are you guys doing this to me today?
Okay, sure. Oh, Kofi, don't worry. We are hungry. You know, somebody delayed this podcast, so we've not eaten. I don't want to mention names.
So, guys, on a more serious note, how do we get the youth to a higher, different level?
So before I come in, I think that this is a very
Charlie, Jerry,
Serious.
and then you
Very serious.
Charlie, make we start and let's start again, right?
yeah, we're meant to. Well, let's continue.
No, please, that's the
Let's go. Why? You will be able to.
Right, so this is another episode of the Bible Podcast. My name is Kofi Tagbo, and I'm here with the CSM team. CSM!
Bye. We'll see the first one.
Yeah. So today we're talking about how to get the youth onto a different level. We feel that we are at a certain level, we should up our game. How can we do that?
So I think that this is a very important discussion for us to have because there's a saying that anything that doesn't grow dies, right? And that's the basic philosophy of life. You as Otihei, your fingernails are growing, your hairs are growing, even though you're
Not every party. Jerry, is it growing?
One pizza in there.
No person.
So the moment you stop growing, it means you are dying. So I think that as a body, as a youth group, we need to constantly make sure that we are growing. We don't need to get comfortable in our ways. We need to make sure that we are innovating and trying out new things. So I think that it's good that we have discussions like this because I bet at the end of this podcast we will give ideas to people as to how they can go forward and move their youth bodies. So one key area I would say is programs and
Programs.
Attending programs.
not just okay. The attendance is also another thing that I think that we have to look at. But I think that if we look at doing the programs well, attendance will improve. We have seen where well means. So that's what discussion is for. Like what does it?
So you are thinking about programs that's organizing good programs done well. That is what's going to push the youth.
I think it's a large chunk of the pie. There are other things that you can do, right? And I remember at a recent junior meeting, I told them that they shouldn't become event organizers. Because you see, when you're youth life, if you become an event organizer, you are organizing events here and there. It's not just about that. There are also ways by which you can touch base with your people. Like even for the churches that have youth groups, attending meetings, making sure they are addressing their concerns. Now some churches are doing visitations to those in senior high schools and tertiary. All those are ways by which we can improve the bodies. But I think that programs are a large chunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to programs, I want us to look at what we are not doing right. Because I want to believe that youth groups are actually doing quite a number of programs. You see them doing youth month, you see them doing I think Mapubi Dinwi
Dead pastors, yeah.
They are
away bus, yeah. So I think that's one program that we can use as a case study, but we can go into it later because I think that they've been they hyped this program for almost a year. Yes, because as far back as March. As far back as March.
The thing is, we'll go into that part, but I want us to know what we are not doing right. What are we not doing right as a youth group? What is going wrong that we're not doing so right? Alex, do you have something?
No, I wish you start.
Always. Okay, always tell us what you are not doing right.
Unless you will know where we stand, because it's all kind of.
I get ideas from you, understand?
I think one thing we are not doing right is we focus more on social programs rather than the church doctrinal programs. For instance, if the church, organizes, or let's say if we are to organize a program based on the doctrines of the church, they need to come. And we tend to pay heed to that. That is what they like, let's do it for them. That is what they will come, let's do it for them. I think we need to move away from there.
I nearly disagree with you. Till you went
because all of you were listening and saying, hey, these people will be punching with no. Let me So we need to not to dance to their tunes
too much.
Exactly. We should stick to what is good for them.
Exactly.
But I want to ask, what's the highest doctrinal program than mass? Would you say that the youth are not really active when it comes to mass?
No. Well, let's say I don't see that we are not organizing the program well. We are doing our best. We are doing what we are supposed to do, but it's the mentality of people. I would say it in the sense of people pay more attentive to their society program than the whole general church having a program and them coming. Because if the societies have programs and they attend in number, what prevents them from not coming to the main church program? That's why we are having a program. We are having this kind of problems because people.
So we still see something which we are not doing well in there. That people are doing more of societal.
Yeah, I'll expand Jerry's.
No, but before that,
You asked a question.
we were on.
No, wait. It's not what Jerry said.
But Jerry
Jerry came
answer his
to
question.
Jerry came
answer
to
his question. You
yes.
said what is what
yes.
is bigger than the mass?
He's talking about we not dancing to the tune
the
of
mass is
No,
the
but
highest
yeah.
point of no, Jerry, let me bring it
I
up.
don't know what mass you've seen.
So let him
I think
explain.
it's
He is making the
confusing.
point.
The doctrinal programs.
Okay.
with
So
mass.
as you're answering, then you suggest a few of those programs you think that.
Good. There should be education about marriage.
Well,
The church teaches about that marriage.
Did you hear?
What do you say? Yes, that is true. Let me give you an example. You see, a priest once said, a 6-year-old girl, and the mother pointed to a boy that, oh, this is your boyfriend. The girl said, no, that's not my boyfriend. I said, no, is he not also your boyfriend? No, that's not my boyfriend. This guy is my boyfriend. So at that age, the girl knew who their boyfriend was. But we take it for granted. We don't tell them this and that and that. So the priest said, at the point when the child refuses to bath in the midst of other people or hide certain things, you should pay attention to that child.
And start training the child
Exactly.
on some of those.
So we have to begin the education from there. But nowadays you don't do that.
No, but let's not limit
But
it
you
to
can't-
just
you can't go to
marriage.
marriage. Yes.
That's one
Don't
thing.
say
I just cited one. I'm giving
That's
some
an
points.
example. That's an
Let me
example.
just say, let's
That's one.
That's
you
one.
jump to the highest level of
No, he's giving an example.
You start
Jerry.
Start from the crèche.
So what's
That's
the
why I'm saying what's
the crèche?
marriage.
Also for marriage, or children married. You didn't.
Also for marriage.
All right. So yeah. So
Also
you're
for-
expanding on.
Exactly. I'm leaving that with marriage. I was coming to another one. You see, and nowadays we kind of rush our children through catechism. So what they know is definitions for certain things. What is confirmation? What is
It's not even the ration. I think it becomes an academic exercise.
good?
It's not really
Do it and pass.
do it and pass. It's not really like imbibing things in them.
Understand it.
Yeah. I think all of us do. It's not nowadays. Because my catechism many years ago, it was an academic exercise. It was about the test that I'll be assessed at the end of and making sure I pass so that I can go and collect communion.
But at the end of the day, when you are done,
That's it.
what do you get? Do you really understand? what
Understand
is-
the church.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So your point is that we should have a look at
Information.
programs that aside the catechism, one that brings the youth together or people together to learn about the doctrine of the church. Is that what you mean? Oh, that's good. What else are we not doing right? I think Jerry raised a point.
About being people being society focused.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to expand. Like, it's not just society focused. So some like when a deanery is having programs, the churches don't want to attend because they are church focused. When the arch is having their programs, the deaneries don't support because they are deanery focused. Is that me myself? Like we don't tend to support well the larger body, and I dare say that it's even with the priests. Because when the bishop is doing something, not all the priests come around to support. But when it's the church that they manage, that one they take it personal. So I think that it's something that we are not doing well. We tend to be small units, and I think even further, Martin mentioned it the last time that even we are doing diocesanship instead of having a national approach to things. So
Well, that's true. That's true. We've highlighted on two. What do you think we are not doing right?
Well, I think we are doing it, but then it's on the low, like publicity. We are not publicizing the programs well, and then also with youth programs, for instance, you can see that we attach some youthful exuberance to it. We are happy we are going to have the program, but then with the church's program, yes, we belong to the church, all right, but then you don't really see any. Maybe but I'm going to say, yeah, day of fever. Come and be blessed. It's not.
Charlie, talking about the publicity, if you see some churches flying, say.
So it's bounced back to us. We are the youth. So if the church is having a program, you the youth, you shouldn't sit down for the church to come.
it depends on the dynamics of the parish.
Exactly.
Because some parishes give the youth the freedom, like in your church, where you can pick up a church program and run with it.
Yes.
Some parishes,
It's not liturgical.
you get it. We are sit down somewhere. So it depends on the parish. Also on I mean,
Publicity.
I wanted to say it, but since he said it, I think I'll just add up. I don't want to be adding to everybody's own, but I wanted to say it when it gets to my point that there's a difference between hype and announcement. We do announcements and we think that is it, that people will come.
That's all.
But we need to hype our events. The promote it. You know, she mentioned the Day of Fever. That's not a program on every church's calendar. We have catechetical week. We have
Laity week.
We go about it the same old way, year in, year out. No good publicity.
It even comes a week to the program. Just the Sunday
sometimes yes. Sometimes you don't even know to the week before.
Yeah.
We don't publicize and hype. We don't package it well.
Yeah.
So I think we have a packaging problem. Yeah, what we are not doing, we have a packaging problem.
I was mentioning the flyers. Some flyers I see like poster colors. I'm like, yo, bro.
You see, that's
That's
why.
why appeal to the eyes.
Yeah, but the reason why I don't want to go into that is that not every church is blessed with resources. And what I mean by resources is that having graphic designers in the church that are good.
So go outside the church.
Well,
Don't do it.
Graphic design is like for a flight like 50 cedis.
Right.
Like 30 cedis, like 100. I mean, if you are doing that for, come on, that's publicity for a whole program. And yo,
50 cities.
so I think it all feeds into the point of publicity of hype.
well, yeah.
Yeah, like we need to prepare to spend to get the right thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
not oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
It affects. It will then affect the attendance. It will affect the approach.
Yes, I was also
Okay.
going to add that maybe we can try to package our programs like what you said. We can have it like in a concept form. For instance, we had this program at my church and we conceptualized it like we're traveling.
Charlie says,
So
what is
everyone
on a
got-
different level.
Please. There's one person that is
Since
a,
Margaret
there's one person that's a
level.
senior marketer that brought this idea.
Hey.
It's not the
And
church.
yes,
Charlie with the pilot and shit.
Continue. What happened?
Everybody on the board.
Yes,
We're going to show the video. We're going to show the video.
Continue.
St. Margaret, what they did.
Sure.
The concept is so
Sure.
beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, continue your point. Since
Yes,
we're going to
so
show the video.
We had a program and then we had to make it look like we were traveling outside. So you have to pick your destination.
Mhm, on the
And when you are
passport
traveling,
and
you have
shit.
to
Oh,
travel
my God.
I saw that.
Producer, put that video on. Put that video
I saw that
on.
video.
Why?
Lieutenant,
Fabi, do not book me.
You see, we
we
had
hear Lieutenant Audrey. I said, wow.
so you
Fly in
were
the air.
Come on, the name. Come on, the name.
And I was
it was a week-long program. We had talks, we had spiritual activities, we had catechesis and everything. But then the packaging, we made
How was the attendance?
It was great on all levels, both.
So they are packaging a
It will be great. It's St. Margaret where we are talking about people.
So we did
Nothing.
virtual and then
Omonia is out. Don't.
we did virtual and in person and everything was.
That's
like-
hybrid, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and we all came with our passport. Like you feel so proud to have that passport.
Oh,
Bring it,
which one was
stamp
it?
it. Even though it wasn't a real travel, people felt.
Yeah.
So people, we were seeing people we hadn't seen in a while because we were like, hey, Madam Mary, your passport, I'm on for the name.
And you know that spiritual thing when you have passport or have you never passport. Well, that's great. That's great. We talked about publicity. We talked about the programs. What else have we not doing right? What else have we not doing right?
I think together, to people have, the resources for what you did. I think if you have a database of the youth members or say people in your church, especially those at the forefront, take your phone, target some people. Just share them among yourself. The mere fact that somebody will hear your voice on phone that I'm inviting you for this program. The next day you go to check up how was it, how is it? I'm just inviting you once again.
I thought you were talking about what we are not doing, but you're giving suggestions.
Yeah.
So that's.
Okay. And she also spoke about
Okay, no, but she started by saying that we don't bring it to that. We have to conceptualize it.
we don't also do this.
Yes.
Well,
So
on the next level, I think I let's go to say something.
I didn't say
So now we've looked at.
I have something to say though.
But let's know.
Let's hear you. No, Alex wouldn't say it.
I will say something later.
Okay,
Yeah, I trust you.
Yeah.
I think that
Make it dangerous right back.
I think that one thing that we also not doing is innovation. As was in the beginning. Thank you. When let me take the arch level. Let me take the youth front, right? Last year was the first year that the arch youth ever did a camp. And you see, you went for that was an innovation. But let me put that aside. Corporate from Madina didn't noted. But you see, if you look at
time.
Yeah.
it wasn't my time actually. It was before my time.
No, he
But
was
still, but you were the chairman of the.
I wasn't the chairman of that
the
committee.
arch.
I wasn't the chairman of that committee. I was just the PR.
I mean, if it was me, I would have taken the, but he doesn't want it.
That's not the point.
Yes, something about
So you see that when you come to our groups, let me come to the traditional groups. There's little innovation there. Even in our youth bodies, in our churches, what are the programs? I can list them on my 2 fingers. And your games are a music related program, car wash in the season, a car wash.
Jesse Sunday.
Jesse Sunday, quiz. No, like the clothing or is all one. The clothing related, excursion. Food bazaar and trade bazaar and exhibitions and those things. We are recycling programs. There's not a lot of innovation in our programs. It's even worse when you go into the church structures. Like for example, the PPCs and the main church bodies. Last year's program, the same.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. The same thing going about to the same old way. There's not a lot of innovation in the way we do our dance, especially when times have changed. Yes, we understand that the church is sacrosanct and cannot be changing with the times, but in the way we do our dance, we are behind. And that is also fits into the reasons why we are losing some youth, because it's so I think we really lack innovation in our program.
So we've actually mentioned quite a good number of things we are not doing well, which I think on a larger level cuts across all the angles.
Yeah.
What have we done that is worth emulating so far? At least some people we can give bravos and.
Okay, first one. Ladamos, St. Makita.
Hey! Oh no, it's the first one. Me, St. Marcus is very for me.
No, it's in no particular order. I'm not saying
so say it that way.
Sorry.
Say it that way.
Sorry. First one in no particular order.
Ladamos. And they've done it like back to back to back.
Yes, they've done it back to back, and every.
Yes, right?
More than
it's more than 2. I think 3.
No,
This was the third edition, or
this year's.
this was the second.
This is the second edition.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
But it's not 2 years, so it's 3 because it was a break.
Okay.
But that was the second edition. So Laudamos, they took their program to another level. I mean, it's not even about the artists. Like, if you are the program, which CSM the church owned the program.
Yeah.
When I say the church owned the program, I mean the whole church owned the program.
There was
You
no
get it?
gap between the adults
And yes, it became a church program. The ashes were the ashes of the church, and they repped, like the church owned the program. Number 2, again in no particular order. Hallelujah praise.
They brought MOG.
They brought emoji and Baba Christy, but you see, when you have some heavyweights in your chest, sometimes they can. I don't want to be biased, but yes, they had very good help.
The production was great. Oh my goodness. We are putting everything on the screen.
Maybe this is how we mentioned that Jandel supported them. So please let's give it up for Jandel.
I think we didn't give it up for Laudamos. The fact that everything was going to the Legacy of Hope project.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
The first one was Legacy of Hope. This one was the addicts, the Center of Hope. Also, I've forgotten the name. It was an addict house, a rehabilitation center that they were raising funds for. It was the first edition that was for the Legacy of Hope.
Yeah.
But this one was
for,
so they had the Narcotics Control Board's head over there at the program and all of that.
Wow.
So exactly. So they are even doing something that touches on the national agenda. But let's. The reason why I want us to pick up Jandel is that she's a parishioner. She's a parishioner over there. She really supported them.
The stage was like
went there.
VGM standard. And guys, I was the MC, so wow.
And as you see her decorate the runabout in the streets.
Yeah. Oh, she's the one who does that.
You don't know that?
The best
Catholic. Where have you been?
Jandel!
Yo!
Oh my goodness.
Every country use Jandel, please use it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean the setup was
Well, then
just...
we'll be visiting Jandel very soon. CSM will be visiting Jandel very soon.
CSM.
Bye. Yeah.
So they really
And
all that.
with that one, you didn't mention that parishioners youth, there was no barrier.
There was no barrier. It was a church program.
Mega.
But they have been doing it for longer.
Is that so?
Yeah, that was our 10th anniversary.
So even 10th edition. Yeah.
Oh.
So they have been doing it for.
So let me mention this. Maybe people do not know about it, and I think that
maybe we can be showing clips or something.
yes, we can.
For people
I
to understand what you're talking about.
I experienced the Hallelujah praise myself. I mean, when I was invited, I got there, I had someone to usher me into the exclusive lounge where artists and VIPs will be. Bro, they brought me snack, they brought me water, they brought even my aid.
Attention to
sing.
detail. Yeah, my aid.
My aid.
You have made it in life.
It's a big brand. Computer is a big brand, yeah. And the whole point is that when artists come for programs, sometimes they do not even have sitting places. Sometimes they have to sit in their cars, very hot. I mean, this lounge had an AC.
Oh wow.
It was a couch, very comfortable. It wasn't just one. You don't have to share with someone. And I mean, the space was very good. If you need something, you have about 3 to 4 people who are attending to you. Like it was
attention
very
to details.
To details. I wasn't at La Damos, but I want to feel that they had very good production team.
Yes.
And
You know what's about you? You get
That's Bakita, right?
Yes.
So with our youth, we had a strategic
yes.
session. I think that was last 2-3 weeks, and Father Larry was there. Look, the thing that went into the lockdown was crazy. We had the opportunity to see their budgets, their planning, sponsor.
And one thing about these programs is that it takes a year.
They've started planning for this.
The next year. Yeah, that's true. I'm actually pitching for Laudamos next year, so maybe you will take over that year.
Another problem is that we don't start early.
Exactly.
So
We don't get enough sponsorship.
No, it's not even about sponsorship. Because you don't start early, you are always in a rush and you are doing things because you are supposed to haphazard because
I think Laudamos had Uber as a sponsor. They also had Bolt. I mean, these guys are really doing well.
Laudamos have companies, a lot of companies. I saw Kia Motors, MTN Foundation.
Wow.
I thought you said MC as a sponsor.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's because you want to
take off my heart for them.
Yeah, the 2 churches, yeah.
I'm doffing my heart for these 2 churches, man. These are things we can all learn from.
I wish Alex
so let's look at what?
The gesture you made. I want Alex to repeat it.
Alex, can you repeat what I just said?
Why?
No, just do it for the people, man.
No, I don't like.
Alex, you did what?
Oh, to me.
To nature.
All right, guys. So let's since Audrey's here, what goes into this? We've already mentioned sponsorship. We've already mentioned publicity. What are the other things that goes into?
Walk us through how you're able to put
just
such a large
Okay,
production.
so with Hallelujah Praise like this, we start the year before. So we usually have it on Easter Sunday. So we start planning probably from August. So we constitute a committee, make sure we have someone who can do something in every area. So we have those who are good in pitching for stuff, those who are marketers, those who can talk in public, and then those who work behind the set. And we also have people who don't do anything. Theirs is to work on the day of the event. Exactly. So that's what we start with. So we start going around scouting for artists. Then we get our projects, then we present it to the church. If they are okay with it, then we start working towards it. So for the first week, we do a launch in church to get our seed fund. Then we start selling things to raise money for the program.
That's like what?
So we start with juice, we start with food. So we try to ask parishioners what food they want on sale. So let's say some people are like, oh, Sundays they make wachi. So we get wachi and then we sell it, but not at the normal price.
A little higher.
Yes.
How do you do that? Is it that you go to Haji at the junction and then tell her to come and sell and add the markup, or how do you do that?
No, so sometimes we go to Haji at the junction, but then we let Haji put everything in a nice chest for us. Then I can say it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because if
right.
Haji should package and give to us, it will be.
Haji will tip some.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we take everything in a nice chest and then repackage ourselves.
Right.
Sometimes too, we let her package in the leaves.
Okay.
And then we'll do the rest. So the chisel.
Exactly.
And then
I think that's a good idea.
Very, very good.
I've stolen it. I mean, disclaimer.
So with that, but let's have a general view at the budget. how much you can decide not to mention a specific amount, but how much does a great production like that? How much should it cost?
Should it cost?
I mean, or which amount are we looking at?
Like 70,000.
70,000.
Sorry, we have best targets.
70,000.
I'm sorry.
Most of them
That was.
And no, I mean she's being real, and I know people who even 11,000 are not getting support from their churches.
Yeah.
70,000 to have your church.
Yeah, but she said that the church didn't. The church give you 70,000.
No, the church
Exactly.
is not
They
giving us
raised. They raised a
No,
lot of money.
and what I'm saying is that not to say the church is giving
Say
you.
the budget.
What kind of Christ? Like,
Sorry,
bro,
Yeah.
same way they have some outstation somewhere they want to. You know,
The church will tell you, okay.
But wait, yeah, 70,000, I'm not sure what is that the church.
No. So what we do is we start raising our funds before we go to the church. Because if you go with 70,000, you know.
Yes.
So knowing your church.
No, don't mention.
No.
Oh!
I don't mean your actual church.
Even your
English.
church, even your church, if you are to have a program and it's costing 70,000, you go with 40,000. Are you telling me they will not support you?
Well,
No, don't
Yeah.
say
So the 11,000 we should have gone with 5,000, and then you find a way back though to raise the additional.
that. Yes.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. A lot of times, we raise whichever budget we have on our own without any support from, say, the church, right? I'm just amazed with the 70,000 tag, where at least you have a 70,000 budget. You are not asking for support from the church, but those comments, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
It's 70,000. Can we do something better with it? Do we have to? You know, I'm just looking at those setbacks.
But I think that
You always have to compare churches too. Imagine
Yeah.
a church where
That's
it's a big church.
yes,
Yes,
you don't have
yes, a greedy
money.
church,
They that
exactly.
much. They have what is bringing them income.
You're not greedy.
Oh,
Yes,
like
sir.
parish is always bringing.
Oh no, I want to be, but let's not delve into that aspect.
You Kofi,
Let's
your
not
church
delve.
is
No. Kofi, what is
Oh
it?
no, did I tell? Do you know my parish? No, have I told my? No, do you know my parish?
Nobody knows.
Airport
Oh,
West.
no, you don't know? Oh,
Airport West.
yeah, Mary Mother.
But when you
Mary Mother.
sorry, how station you?
No, I am a new parish now.
At where?
Airport West.
That's it.
But let's not make it look as if.
Yeah.
I mean,
We are not bashing, no, we are not bashing.
No. Let's make it as if to the group program needs 70K.
Yeah.
No, you can scale down.
Exactly.
Because the things that we're talking about are things that we can scale down, and let's say with a budget not surpassing grade C churches we can 10,000.
No, but mind you, the 70,000 includes artists.
So
Yeah,
don't forget, that's why they had people sponsoring, like not in fiscal card, but with the materials. You know, because if lighting is costing like 20,000, somebody has taken lighting.
Yeah, it takes that headache off you.
So that's good.
But then
If
you still want to
water-
see it on the budget.
On the budget,
Yeah.
if water, somebody has taken the cost of water
I
already.
think we had Sky Water.
Like we did for.
Yeah.
Don't let people.
Yeah, they donate.
Or as we said, we forgetting about our little one we did, Madina Jimmy.
Right.
No, we'll go there too. I mean, we are just commenting.
One of the days when I was-
and the 70,000. Let's look at the proceeds. How much comes after? I mean, you had a project. Oh no, we have projects at the end of the day, right? Would there be no? So how much are we looking at the end of such a program?
120,000.
Oh, maybe.
Everything, yeah.
Oh,
Everybody can get more than that.
What
they have that's the
no, but you know the thing about sometimes some of these programs, when you're not careful, right? The program is to raise funds for a project. If you're not careful, you spend more on the project than you can give to the, which is I think is not a good, because again you mentioned Legacy of Hope. We spent just about 10 to 15% of the money we raised to organize the program. So if you have a program and it's also a project and 70% of Sikanamu raised and went into the organization of the program and you're only giving 30% to the project, I think there's something wrong. You shouldn't use a large chunk of the
Yeah.
of the process to organize the program. So I think that's one thing that we also have to look at.
I also think Laudamos has been doing a ticketed program, but with Hallelujah Praise has been free.
Free.
Yeah.
Free.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm doing.
yeah.
So
That's what I meant for you. It's in the city,
proceeds
like
to-
DC.
Urban program.
Just like understand.
Also, DC was the very first, the biggest estate in
Yes,
West
DC.
Africa. But
So
That's
so much.
Yeah.
And look at where the angle the churches.
well, the church is very beautiful and all that. Charlie, kudos, guys. All those who did great. Madina Dinu did a very good production with the Legacy of Hope,
Yes.
Divine Mercy.
Talk about that.
We had
Are you
we had a committee members
Yeah,
here.
you're the
Charles
committee
was the chairman. I don't know which committee Charles is never the chairman.
I was the second.
Elvis was there. Elvis seldom comes to meeting himself.
I was the
We
second.
had the
Never
financial
saying it.
controller
Say, that
there.
was the secretary.
And then
You're the MC.
IFC. Well, we had our platoon. It was a very great program. We had our Lord Bishop there. Archbishop, sorry, our Archbishop there. He came. I mean, that guy, that man, sorry, that man is very strong. No, I admire him so much. I admire him so much.
I'm not inviting you to here.
No, but he's a guy.
He's
I'm
our
sure
guy.
he's a guy.
I mean, I feel
He's our guy.
Who's your guy? Archbishop, now only you are lying.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I admire his strength, even in his condition. We admire you, say, thank you so much for all you do for the others.
Amen.
And you know, bishops too. We hope to meet them very soon. But yo, guys. So we've done St. Margaret's Mary on Hallelujah Praise. We've done St. Bakita on Laudamos, and then we've done Legacy of Hope, Divine Mercy Concerts. I think that also our various churches are also doing programs. For Queen of Peace, I know they do this Royals Praise. I think Rotary Worship Experience or something.
What do you
I'm coming.
Patrick,
We're
yeah.
about to do atomic praise.
Atomic
That's how fucking explosive.
Oh yes!
Hey!
Look,
I'm serious.
That'll be the slogan. Atomic praise.
But again, they paid me. Somebody is celebrating 50 years.
as part of our
St. Patrick is 50 years.
Yeah.
My goodness, Queen of Peace Catholic Church did great with that church. I mean, I'm American.
yes. So
No, I'm American. But we
just look out for atomic praise.
Atomic praise, boom. So we are seeing that. We are seeing that.
Atomic praise.
Boom. Right guys, so today on today's episode we look at things that we are not doing right as youth in organizing our programs. We mentioned publicity and the type of programs we do, and also innovation, all that. And then we've commended some churches, Charlie, for the great work they are doing.
So let's also commend a deanery. So I want to commend Mamprobi Deanery.
Charlie,
for their waivers.
Charlie, away bars. Hey, the publicity is mad.
I
These guys
swear.
went there themselves.
Like going there themselves is not a big deal, right? But my own is they've been hyping this program since like
Crazy.
March. Like that's a solid 8 or so months of publicity.
Yeah.
Back to back, and that's a deanery. You know what the programs we mentioned.
I've not heard of it.
I didn't hear of it.
It's a lie. Hey, I paid you before the sound of it. Behave me. I wear bars. I mean, we are posting a
They
video
keep
on
on posting on the YouTube on the service page.
Wait, on share
It's a lie.
I guess sorry for I saw the flyer on your phone.
It's a way bars. And CSM rep. Yeah. So, my probably, I think Patina Junior, you have to up your game. You guys are really slow. You're slacking down. Osudunu is also.
But you just mentioned legacy of hope. Why is contradicting yourself?
Oh yeah. So yeah.
As we are saying, seriously, it's high time society patronize church programs.
Don't limit it. Like say smaller group patronize the bigger groups.
But it was a thing that you see. I had a challenge. It was a thing that
really collapsing the church program.
Yeah.
No, but we've had that if you are under an umbrella and the larger group is having a program, we do not have the program while the larger group is having.
You're under what?
An umbrella.
A zoo.
It's more like under my umbrella. Yeah, so Charlie, let's patronize the church program. So this episode looked at again, this is how we can up our game as youth in the Catholic Church when it comes to programs.
Yeah.
Guys, we've learned a lot.
Can we have a system whereby, so let's say a society in the church organizes a program and records a number of attendees, and so if there is a church program, the society should account for that number of people to come to that program, the church program, or also be sanctioned or something.
Yeah. So that for me, I remember. The priest can sanction.
No, but let's look at something.
Jerry, I'm coming.
The church is having a program.
Yeah.
And you don't patronize the church program, but in your program, you attend your program to the extent. That's why you don't see me joining some societies. Seriously.
Nobody's watching you, so don't.
Seriously, like I know number of societies that are.
Please don't. We don't need it.
Yeah, I don't want to mention it, but to the extent that.
Relax.
To the extent that.
Personalizing the thing.
No, like seriously, like to the extent that when you enter into the society, it becomes like you are a bride to the society's staff alone. When seriously, seriously.
Oh, we have 9 minutes. You know, like I remember I was sharing this idea with my priest at that time that youth are OMBA programs, like we should penalize you, like area.
Me and Sam out.
Like we shouldn't allow you, like let's put in those things to like force people to be active, because it's done in some churches.
It's true.
Whereby if the youth president must say that he knows you.
Exactly. You got to the point my priest was calling me.
Hold on. You are spoiling my point. The priest might say that he knows you before you can.
Yeah.
So I was trying to share those ideas, but that way of going about things is not Catholic.
Maybe right.
No, it's not Catholic. What is right and wrong is always subjective.
Yeah.
But it's not Catholic. That's not how the Catholic Church goes about it. The Catholic doesn't force anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
It should always be voluntary, willingly. The Catholic Church will appeal to your conscience for you to come. The Catholic Church will never force you to come. So yes, to answer your idea, the Catholic Church is not that strategy is not Catholic.
Societies paid dues and some. So if somebody doesn't come, they'll fine you or something.
No, but I think
that's still forcing them. That means I won't join your society if I know you do that. And it will in the long run affect membership in that society.
Every society is not just.
Yeah, so then I'll
join any society.
yes, exactly. But there are people like that.
There are a lot of people who are not in any society. Because sometimes if the society makes you look like if you are not their tribe, there are some societies who are that kind of tribes. This thing.
But there are tribal societies in the church.
No, I'm talking about
we
some.
have this Monday, Tuesday, days of the group. You don't have to be.
I think
that one is.
No, but that's
Guys, so hello. So this is another episode. Hello. It's okay.
This mentality,
It's okay.
if it is nice, like the Archbishop idea of not building two big churches,
Yeah.
but
smaller
churches, so that we can, you go together.
Community.
I think it's a very good idea that Archbishop is bringing up. And if we
It's been there since.
It's been there since, but
Yeah,
still,
it's been there
our people are building big churches. It's better we go.
But maybe what church seats 2,000 people in that diocese?
2,000.
Bakita can.
No.
They can.
two churches. Up to
I think that'll be like
I think
1,500.
yes. So the ceiling is around. They're gonna make a big church and pay 1,500. You hardly see any church going above that number.
Okay, I mean,
It's more like a code. I don't know if it's written, but it's more like a code. You can't build like
But especially
2,000, 3,000.
500 and what, so that you can grow up.
500 is slow. It's small. Maybe
It's small,
800.
you know,
Maybe
that
800.
one.
Charlie, that would be another
No, with that one. With that one, like-
Yo.
Let's
Jerry,
for example,
Jerry. No.
Why is it monthly?
We are going out.
Why is it monthly?
As in,
The distance is far.
it's not so far.
Okay, so let's say St. Mark and your church. What is the distance?
It's not so
it's
far.
It's not
distance.
so far. But like my place, Queen of Peace, Medina, Queen of Peace, Butri, the distance, look at it.
No, but there's Holy Rosary in between.
Holy Rosary.
And there's presentation of
And
there's presentation.
Look at where Holy Rosary is.
Yeah, but it's not in between you and Medina.
Look at where Holy Rosary is.
Okay, what's your head? And there's also presentation.
See Queen of Peace, see St. Francis, at least if there's some church around.
They are
No.
not at Ogojo, but
There's
they
some
are.
Catholic church around Ogbojo or Kofi Cemetery area or the Samampong there.
I still around John, so I don't. Right, guys. So thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We learned a lot. Do want to follow us on all our social media handles at Calico Social Media on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and at Calic Vibes GH on Twitter. This is CSM, and this was a lively podcast. CSM.
Bye.